everyone, Retro Gamer Girl here. So, as the title describes, I'm going to be running you guys through 5 timeless classic NES titles. For me, a timeless game will have excellent graphics that have stood the test of time and be equally as fun to play now as when you're a kid. So, let's have a look at 5 NES games. So, to kick things off, Rare's 1991 game Battletoads. It's one of my favourites and it's known for being notoriously hard. I still haven't finished this game even years and years later. I've played it a number of times and I give it a good crack, but I've never been able to finish it. It follows 3 toads, Rash, Pimple and Zitz, which are named after skin conditions of all things, in a quest beat-em-up style game. The franchise became so popular they've had a few games after this one of which is the Double Dragon crossover. Haven't played that one yet, but I'd really love to add that to the collection this year. One of the best parts about it is that I go back to this game time and time again, and it's a load of fun. If you haven't checked it out, it is available on the Rare Replay disc for the Xbox One. Now, one of my favourite artwork covers in the NES library actually goes to this game, and it's Capcom's 1990 game, DuckTales. This reminds me so much of my childhood, and DuckTales the game is actually based on the cartoon, and I used to watch a cartoon series as a kid. Now in the game you play as Scrooge McDuck and you travel around searching for 5 treasures that you need to get for your wealth, which is very much on the par with the TV show. You use your cane to attack enemies, and you also use it as a pogo stick, jumping stick. It's a load of fun. And this game actually deserved a remaster, and it got it, and in 2013. So if you haven't played the NES release, definitely check out 2013's release of DuckTales because it was a great remaster. Now, for Nintendo's Duck Hunt, released 1984. I can't imagine what it would have been like to have received the action set in the 80s. Duck Hunt is one of my favourite shooting games of all time, and I think it's probably where my love for shooters come from. The zapper gun is super cool, and as the ducks spawn on the screen, as the name suggests, you shoot down the ducks. In the earlier stages it's pretty easy, but if you miss the ducks, the little dog will pop up and have a bit of a laugh at you, and it becomes quite a bit of fun. But as you get to the harder stages, I really did used to feel like yelling "shut up dog" to when those moments are that he would pop up and I would have missed one of those ducks, because they do become quite hard to shoot. Now, this game is probably not everyone else's most popular game or maybe favourite, but it is readily available and it is a lot of fun if you haven't played Duck Hunt before. Now, for one very popular game and one of my favourites, Nintendo's 1986 release, The Legend of Zelda. Now, this particular game I love a lot. I have a few different variations of it. I've even purchased it on Virtual Console because I love it so much. It's where it all started for me with collecting Zelda games. I have quite a large Zelda collection these days because I just love this game so much. It's such a classic with its overhead view. It's definitely an RPG action, but I love this game so much. I have gone back and played it time and time again, which is maybe why I don't play a lot of newer RPGs, maybe because I feel like this is my favorite game. But you travel around, you collect pieces of the Triforce, and obviously save Princess Zelda, which is what the story is for most of the other Zelda games as well. It's super fun and one of the best games. It's super timeless, and I think a lot of you will agree that it's one of the greatest games. Maybe not the greatest game of all time, but definitely one of the most timeless and greatest games to have been released. The graphics have still stood the test of time. I go back to it a few times over the course of the year, maybe not to finish it, but I definitely always pick it back up again. So let me know in the comments section if The Legend of Zelda is one of your timeless picks as well. And lastly, Nintendo's Super Mario Bros. 3, released 1988 in Japan. It's one of my favourite games of all time, and it would come as no surprise to any of you. I absolutely love this game. It's a 2D action side-scroller, and it's very much like the original Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 2, where you jump on enemies to beat them, or you also use power-ups to defeat them. The plot line of this one is probably my favourite out of any of the Mario games ever released. So you go to each kingdom, the king has been turned into an animal, you defeat the boss, and therefore he turns back. And then at the very end, it becomes apparent that Bowser has kidnapped Princess Toadstool, and you have to go and rescue her from the Dark Land, which is one of my favorite levels of all time in most of the Mario games. So this is one of my favorite games, and it will always be a timeless classic. So thank you everyone for tuning in to 5 games from the NES library that I believe are timeless classics. Let me know in the comments section below if you've played these games, if you think they're ageless, timeless themselves, if you're going to pick up any of these games and give them a go if you haven't played them before, or maybe what some of 5 of your favorites are. I'd love to hear. But until then, I'll talk to you next time.